Hey friends, so this is class notes number 18. I'm about to lose track of our episodes right now because this is actually something that we've practiced the week before, but I had to split the content. So this class here was filmed last week, and this week we already filmed another class which will be coming up in the next week's class notes episode. Okay, so this is part of the training that we did last week, where we focused on the basic exercise of Rosho again. So I am practicing here with Marcus, former judo Olympian, so this is our basic Rosho exercise, and we do a couple of exercises inside this Rosho pattern. And the goal of those exercises is that we get more connected and that we can let go of the connection and immediately find it back. Okay, so it's a very playful game here. Again, focusing first on the basics. I always have a strong structure in my arm. I always have either the outside or the inside position. On the outside, I try to control my opponent's wrist or my partner's wrist. And on the inside, I use my own wrist in order to keep out my structure and my alignment. So important here is that we have a nice angle in our arms, so when somebody pushes into us, it works as a structure and a frame. So if you bend your arms too closely, then the frame is gone and your partner can push into your chest and find your center immediately. So we want these long arms. Always open your arm more than 90 degrees here, so you have a solid structure where you can push through, but also where you can receive the incoming pressure from your partner. Okay, something that I see neglected in many Tai Chi forms. I also see the reason why sometimes you might want to do that, because it's very easy that when you break this structure and you get the push towards your chest, that you can practice Lü, the avoiding. But to be honest, the structure and the frame of your arms would be a very nice first line of defense, and if you don't have it, well, not good at all. Okay, so we try to find this distance here where we both have a good structure in our arms, and this is where we start playing. Okay, so this exercise is all about connection, and it's a cooperative work. So we try to find a very smooth circular motion. Both people do the same thing. Okay, and if I control his hand, I try to control it with the first 3 fingers here, starting from my pinky. And here comes the first exercise. Out of this rolling hand, once I'm on the outside of his wrist, I pull his hand slightly towards my own center before I slide down his forearm in order to slap towards his belly, like so. And I immediately withdraw my hand to find back my control at the wrist of my partner. Okay, so that's the exercise. You're circling, you wait until you're on the outside, in this case with my right arm here, then I take control, I pull his arm back, and then I slide forward with my own forearm alongside his forearm to strike, and immediately pull back my hand in order to get back into the pattern of Rosho. Okay, so here we start again. I'm sorry about this sound in the background, don't know if you hear it. I am preparing lunch. This is my rice cooker. Smells great. Okay, so this is the exercise. Rosho, you grab and you pull, and you slide up his forearm in order to strike towards his belly. Be nice to your partner. And then you withdraw your hand and you immediately start to circle back into this Rosho pattern. Okay, so the next one, after we've practiced the strike towards the chest, is created from the inside position. So here, my exercise now is that I want to lift up my hand. So I'm waiting until I'm on the inside. Now I lift up my hand, and from here I strike down towards the chest of my partner, from the over position here towards the chest. Okay. Usually you would try to hit the collarbone with the the base of your palm, but for your partner practice, you just want to basically hit with the palm itself and just strike towards the chest. So that's the least painful method. And here, the goal is that your partner will, after you hit him, withdraws his hand and tries to find back the connection in order to come back to the Rosho pattern. Exactly, that's what he did here. So I'm waiting until I am on the inside. I lift and strike, and he has to pull back his hand in order to start all over again and find the way back into this Rosho pattern. Okay, so bam, striking, and he returns his hand so we can continue with our cooperative practice. Okay, so that's number 2. Lifting up and slapping down with the palm towards the chest, slightly underneath the collarbone here. Okay, if I would just not do the lifting part, but just try to strike immediately out of the inside position, it would be really, really easy for him to deflect the incoming hand. So always try to lift and strike down towards the chest. Yeah, so that's number 2 of our and you see the pain is coming later. It's a 5-finger death punch style, so be careful. All right, you don't know what's going to happen to your liver when you wake up the next morning. All right, so next step, again, hooking from the outside. Now I move forward and I move my elbow forward in order to extend his arm, right? And by doing so, I turn his body, or I rotate his upper body, in this case to the left side. So this opens the way towards his back. Okay, so I grab, I take control, I extend my elbow, you see what I do with my hand here, I take over, and then I can decide if I strike towards the face or down to the rib area. Yeah, in this case, of course, since we're doing a nice cooperative practice here, would be rather mean to strike to the face, so just grab the hand and strike and slap the belly. Okay, that's the 3rd exercise that we did on this day. Extending his arm, opening the way towards his back, then taking over with the other hand and slapping to the belly. 3 exercises out of this basic Rosho pattern. Okay, this is all about timing. This is all about connection, trying to maintain a nice movement flow with your partner. Then you break the pattern, you step out of the pattern, and then you return back as if nothing happened. Very nice exercise. Okay, so again, I wait until I'm on the outside, I extend my elbow forward, I open up the way to the back of my partner, then I use my other hand for the transition. More control for me here, and now once I'm here, I decide if I want to step into the back or if I want to slap his belly. Well, that's the thing. Okay, so So in this last part here of the practice, I was talking about the importance of keeping your elbow close to your ribs. Okay, this is a very, very, very basic principle in almost every martial art. Okay, so never flare your elbows if you don't know what you're doing. So basically in Rosho, you only circle with your hand, but you try to minimize the movement at your elbows. Okay, so you don't want to open the area between your elbow and your ribs, because this leaves space for your partner to go for an underhook and maybe turn in for a hip throw, like I'm going to demonstrate here. So if I manage, or if he does he makes the mistake of lifting and flaring his elbow, there is space for me to turn into him, to do a back step, and then lift him up into a throw. Okay, so again, I demonstrate here. I wait until he shows me the way by flaring his elbow. Then I move in with this circular snake-like motion. Of course, we're still in Chinese martial arts. Everything is snake or dragon. So you move down, you try to create, or you get control over his shoulder blade. Then you do the back step. Then you get as close as possible to the center of your partner. Then you lower your weight, you lower your center, and then you lift him up for the throw, the actual throw. Okay, so here's the back step. I turn, hip wide stance, and I lift up. Okay, that was rice is ready. Awesome. Okay. One more time. Circling. He flares his elbow. There is space for me to step in. Step forward first with the front foot. Now back step. Try to get control over his shoulder blade, or like really take control over his back and lift him up for the throw. This is it. Okay. So next time, I think we will practice the actual throw a little more. But here again, doing it solo, turning in, back step, lowering my center, and extending my spine again. Okay, so this was Class Notes number 18. Like I said before, it's the week before this week. We already filmed the next chapter. So yeah, looking forward to talk about this one. Keep practicing. I hope you enjoyed this session. Speak soon.